Hello and welcome to another episode of Photoshop for Photographers with me, Sam. Today we'll be looking at image size and file size. So we'll jump right in. First of all, tell me if ever this. You've just edited your image in Photoshop. It looks really good on the screen. You can zoom in. It's sharp where it should be sharp. And then you print it out and it looks either all pixelated or it just does not look how it looks on the screen. That's mainly because of the image size. So if we go into image and image size, you get this image size window pop up. And first of all, you've got the pixel dimensions, you've got the width of your image and the height of your image. But what you really want to be looking at for this today is the resolution, or the DPI. Now that stands for dots per inch. Now the industry standard for dots per inch is 300. Now my image isn't quite there yet because I shoot with a crop frame camera, and it just doesn't offer the resolution that I want, but I can't afford another camera at the moment. So I just tend to change it in Photoshop. Now as I said, the industry standard is 300, but what I always do is change it by 100 just to make sure that I'm well into that 300 sort of bracket. Now once you change the resolution here, it'll change everything else for you. Make sure you're in pixels. And you click OK. You just have to wait for Photoshop to do its thing. Now this can be slow or fast, depending on how fast your computer is and how much you decide to increase your resolution by. I've only done 100, so it doesn't take too long. My computer's not the fastest, so I have to wait a little bit. Now once it's done, you'll see that the image will be made bigger. Now, that's just because it's sort of made the pixels larger, in a sense. And once it's done that, it will be all ready to print, and it will look as close to as it does on the screen as you can make it with the file size. There we go. That'll be much better now when I go to print it. Much more detailed, much less pixelated. But now we need to save it. Now a good photographer would save this file as a TIFF. Now a TIFF does not compress anything about the image. It keeps it exactly the same, and it retains all the layers, so that if I wanted to edit it again, I'd just be able to open it right back up in Photoshop and edit it, and the file would not have got any smaller. Whereas if you save it as a JPEG, it compresses it, and every time you save it as a JPEG again, it'll compress it, and the file size will get smaller and smaller, and your image will get more and more pixelated, which is what you don't want. Now, as I said, a good photographer will just save it as a TIFF. A great photographer will save it as a TIFF and a JPEG, because you want the TIFF for printing, but TIFF files are quite large. So if you try and send a TIFF over email to a client, or you try and give a client a load of your photographs on CD, you could have them as TIFFs, but it'll take up quite a lot of room. Especially for email. If you have TIFF and JPEG, you can print with your TIFFs and then email with your JPEGs. I normally save my JPEGs about half size, so about because it gives you that little option to save as a JPEG. If I just do it now to show you. So we've got Bubble Girl, I think I've already got this, so Bubble Girl 1, save as a JPEG. There we go, it comes up with this, what the quality you want it. For email I normally just put it down to half, so about 6, it's medium file, and it won't be too pixelated, you'll be able to see it very clearly on the email. So I normally save it as that. Well, that's been today. Just teaching you about DPI and the industry standard of how you should save your files as TIFFs and JPEGs, as well as the industry standard of 300 DPI when printing. I've been Sam with exploretravelphoto.com. Thank you very much for watching. Please check out my website, exploretravelphoto.com. It's got all my photography on it, more tutorials, as well as recent blog posts about photography. So please give it a look.